Welcome back to Ask the Trade Pros, a show where a couple of trade guys talk about trade stuff. We're here to answer your questions about your HVAC, electrical, plumbing, and other home systems, and help you keep your home running smoothly. I'm Todd.
And I'm Jordan. Today we have a question from Susan, one of our loyal listeners. She said, "Dear Jordan and Todd, for the past year I've been repairing and replacing things at my mother's house that are old and outdated. I found out recently that the smoke detectors haven't been looked at in years. I'm not even sure if they work. Since this is a safety thing, I want to look at replacing or upgrading them as soon as possible. What do I need to know as I'm looking at new ones, and how often do I need to check on them? Appreciate your help, Susan." Thank you, Susan, for writing.
Thanks for writing us, Susan. Smoke detectors are one of those things in the home that absolutely need to work in order to keep you safe. But surprisingly, a lot of people don't take time to maintain and replace their smoke detectors as often as they should. So today we're going to talk about what you need to know as you're replacing your smoke detectors, as well as carbon monoxide detectors, and how to keep them working properly.
Well, let's start if they go off. If my smoke or carbon monoxide detector goes off, Todd, what should I do?
Well, first, I think you're going to want to go to the area that it's going off and see if there actually is smoke or fire, or if it's a carbon alarm, maybe it's your HVAC system. So I would first see what's going on. Do you have a fire? And if that's the case, then obviously you want to get out of the house as soon as possible.
If you don't see any fire or problems, you may want to air out the house to make sure that there's no carbon monoxide. We had a customer a few weeks back that had a faulty old carbon monoxide detector that was just beeping. We advised her to go shut the gas off outside to make sure that there's no gas remaining in the house, and then open all the windows and doors to air it out.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about the difference between smoke detectors and carbon detectors. Smoke detectors are only going to alert you if there's a presence of smoke, indicating a potential fire hazard. You can't just put them anywhere you want, so you're going to want to install your smoke detectors on every level of your home, including inside and outside of sleeping areas. You're going to want to place them high up on the ceiling or high in the walls. As we know, smoke rises. You want to avoid placing them near windows, doors, or vents, as the drafts may interfere with their operation.
So that must explain why all these smoke detectors are placed so high on the ceiling that nobody can reach them or fix them.
Correct. And there's also places that you never want to install them. So you never want to install them in or near a kitchen, bathroom, or garage, as the cooking fumes, steam, or vehicle exhaust can trigger false alarms.
Okay, how about my carbon monoxide detectors?
A carbon detector monitors the presence of this odorless and toxic gas that can be produced by faulty fuel-burning appliances or inadequate ventilation.
The number one source for carbon monoxide in your home actually comes from gas stoves rather than any other appliance.
That's good to know. I didn't know that. What about your gas-fired furnace?
Well, you should have the gas-fired furnace checked at least once a year, because it can also leak carbon monoxide should the heat exchanger or something crack. Normally, you would mount a carbon monoxide detector somewhere in the same room or closet as the furnace that would alert you to such an effect.
Okay, so not only do you want to place them near your furnace, but you also need them on each floor of your home as well, especially near sleeping areas, where you're going to want to put them as at eye level or a little bit higher on the wall. If you have multiple detectors, interconnect them so if one alarm goes off, they're all going to sound together. If you have a larger house and you're having an issue on one side, and you want to be able to hear if something's going on from the other side of the home. Avoid installing them near fuel-burning appliances or areas prone to high humidity, such as kitchens, bathrooms, or laundry rooms. Also keep them away from ventilation openings, fans, or areas with high airflow.
Should I get a combination smoke detector, carbon monoxide detector?
Absolutely. Nowadays, you're probably going to save money than buying a bunch of different smoke and carbon separately. So they do make them smoke and carbon combined.
So let's talk about the different types of smoke detectors and carbon detectors. There are plug-in models, short battery life models, and long battery life models.
And hardwired models.
Just like in our previous episode, there are smart versions now. You can get a combination smoke and carbon monoxide detector that will send alerts to your smartphone. It will tell you what location is beeping. It can link additional units to it so that they will all go off of one location, and other features.
You mean so on my hardwired system, once one beeps, they all beep, so that the smart one will tell me which one's beeping and I don't have to replace all the batteries?
Correct. It's no longer like it used to be where you just go around with your broom and swatting at every smoke detector on the roof.
Let's talk a little bit about maintenance and testing. How long do smoke or carbon detectors normally last?
Some of the newer models will have a 10-year battery life. That's also the expected lifespan of the sensor inside of it. So you generally keep them for that period of time and then dispose of them.
And also testing. So you're going to want to test them regularly, probably on a monthly basis to ensure that they're functioning, and also replace the batteries as needed. I normally recommend replacing batteries on a yearly basis.
Even on the 10-year battery life?
No. 10-year batteries are built in. Well, the cheaper ones are going to be just a battery only. And that's what I was talking about. Test those monthly and replace the batteries yearly. What Jordan was talking about is the 10-year life battery. Now, typically most of those are a maintenance free, meaning that you do not replace the battery. They're lithium batteries, and at the 10-year mark, you would replace the whole system.
Remember, these guidelines provide general recommendations, but it's important to refer to the specific instructions provided with your detectors or look them up online, as requirements can vary. Consult with a professional or your local fire department if you have any specific concerns or questions regarding the installation of these detectors. If you're ever unsure and your smoke alarms are going off, call 911 and they'll send out your local fire department to take a look. Remember, as my producer says, it's better to be safe than dead.
If you need any help with any of this, don't forget to contact your local trade pro. We hope you found this episode helpful. We release new episodes every other Tuesday, so if you want more trade pro tips, then don't forget to subscribe.
If you want us to talk about a specific topic, please send us an email or leave us a voicemail with your questions, and we may be able to feature them in a future episode. You can find that information in the show notes.
And don't forget, we can help with your HVAC, plumbing, and electrical needs. Find out more at donerightservices.com. That's DONERITESVCS.com.